I'm Dan Galusha and welcome to another edition of Tips and Stuff. Today's fishing was really weird, and that's what I want to talk to you about. Can you learn anything off of that sort of day? Because the tip is you should always try to learn something. And with this, I wouldn't say it was a great day. Wasn't good, wasn't poor. It was just kind of weird. Now, why was it weird? For one thing is, I was catching everything on a different lure. So what am I going to learn from that? Well, first is start breaking it down. Wasn't on a particular type of lure. Yes, in a roundabout way, they were all natural forage baits. My Plano tackle boxes, I was going through them like crazy here. And same with my rods. You can see I got a pile of junk back here. And that was the only thing I thought was familiar. Well, no, there's something else. Each one of those baits has got kicking bass attractant in it. And each of the attractants is anise shad. That is the one common denominator. Now, is there anything structure-wise? Again, yes and no. Yes, because everything was caught beside a weed clump of some sort. No, because some were shallow and some were deep. Where were the most hits? Well, most were shallow, paralleling those weeds. But they were short hits. I went to small baits, I went to long. I caught them on swim baits. 7-inch ribbon tail worms. And 4-inch finesse worms. The only common denominator between those is the fact that the worms were rigged with TTI hooks. In fact, I know I was using the X-Point brand. But that wouldn't be a thing of this. So, what I've learned out of this is that they're hanging around weeds. The water temperature is the same about everywhere. It's very, very warm. It's around 82 degrees. But they are hanging close to weeds, and they're hitting on something with the kicking bass attractant in it, the anise shad. And that's the two things I've learned right there today. So if I come back, that's going to be the main thing that I'm going to start with, is something like that. In fact, I might even apply it to something else I wanted to work with. It's just one of those things that you learn. For example, I was fishing a tournament with my partner, Richard Qualls. And Rich and I were a team that we would sit down and talk about things right out there on the water. And one day we ran into that. We ran into it big time. I thought, what are we going to do? I had located fish, and I was on them like crazy. And I told Rich, we are going to win this thing. And no, we weren't, because when we pulled into my spot, there was a dredger. This was the Mississippi River. There was a dredger, and it just had everything torn up where I had caught my fish. It was a mess. There were dead fish in the pile. It was, like I said, just a mess. So we sat down and we talked about it. I said, man, what are we gonna do? And this closest spot was at least 22 miles away that I always caught fish. But in pre-fish, I hadn't caught a thing there. So we debated about it. And Rich says, you're usually always good on that spot. Let's gamble. Well, he was right. When I first pulled into the area, just as I was going in, I got my first keeper. And from there on, we placed in the top 3. I can remember that. But again, what we did is we pulled back on something that we had learned in the past. And that's what you want to do, and that's the tip. Always try to learn something. So until next time, get out on the water and enjoy a great day of fishing.